History is often written in blood, but some chapters are forged in cold, uncompromising iron. While the world feared kings and emperors, there was one order that even death itself seemed to hesitate before. The Knights Hospitaller. They were the contradiction of the medieval world. Men who prayed for peace while perfecting the art of the kill. They were not just soldiers, they were the armored fist of God. For centuries, they turned the Mediterranean into a graveyard for those who dared challenge them. Today, we uncover the story of the deadliest warrior monks to ever walk the earth. To become a Hospitaller was to die to the world. A candidate didn't just join an army, he entered a brotherhood of shadows. They took vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. But their blades spoke a different language. Their training was a brutal fusion of religious fanaticism and elite combat mastery. From dawn until dusk, they moved in heavy plate armor under the scorching sun, mastering the longsword, the mace, and the warhammer. They were taught that retreat was not just a military failure, but a sin against the divine. In their eyes, every strike was a prayer, and every fallen enemy was a soul sent to judgment. They feared no hell, because they believed they were the ones who guarded its gates. What made a single knight worth 50 men on the battlefield? It was their technology and their tactics. The Hospitallers were the pioneers of naval warfare and siege defense. They wore the finest steel armor Europe could forge, layered plate that could deflect arrows and shatter blades. Their primary weapon was the hand-and-a-half sword, a brutal instrument designed to crush bones through mail. But their true secret was Greek fire and early gunpowder. They turned their fortresses into literal furnaces, raining liquid fire upon their enemies. They combined ancient discipline with cutting-edge destruction, making them the most technologically advanced military force of their era. The ultimate test came in 1565, the Great Siege of Malta. The Ottoman Sultan sent 40,000 of his finest warriors, the Janissaries, to wipe the knights from the map. Against them stood only 500 knights. The odds were suicidal. For 4 months, the island became a slaughterhouse. At the Fort of Saint Elmo, the violence reached levels of pure insanity. When the Ottomans finally breached the walls, they found every single knight dead at his post. In a rage, the Ottoman commander decapitated the fallen knights and floated them across the harbor on wooden crosses. The Grand Master's response was immediate and terrifying. He decapitated his Ottoman prisoners, loaded their heads into his cannons, and fired them back at the enemy. This wasn't just war, it was a descent into darkness. The knights did not break. They fought in the rubble, they fought with broken blades, they fought with their bare hands until the greatest empire on earth was forced to retreat in shame. The legacy of the Iron Monks isn't just about their victories, it's about their psychological shadow. They were the only military unit in history that viewed a lost cause as a holy invitation. While the Spartans fought for their city and the Vikings fought for glory, the Hospitallers fought for an idea. This made them unpredictable and terrifying. You cannot bribe a man who has sworn a vow of poverty. You cannot scare a man who believes his death is his greatest reward. They were the shield of the West and the nightmare of the East. Eras end, empires fall. The age of the armored knight eventually gave way to the age of the rifle. But the spirit of the Hospitallers, the Iron Monks, remains unbroken in the annals of history. They proved that a handful of men with a single unyielding purpose can defy the greatest powers on earth. They were the masters of the battlefield, the gatekeepers of the Mediterranean, and the most lethal monks to ever hold a sword. The question isn't how they lived, but how they chose to die.